You're listening to another episode of Mr. Allard's Neighborhood. This is the place where we're entitled to Brad's opinion. And now for your host, Brad Allard.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us on a special Friday edition, a special extra edition this week because Local Life is out.
Yes.
Yes, and we want to talk about that. We want to talk about a lot of things, actually, but this Local Life magazine, it came out when, Monday or Tuesday?
Yes.
Okay, so most people should have it by now.
Yeah, it came out over the weekend, I believe.
Okay, and the issue is about your favorite local beauty services.
Yes.
And all these lovely ladies on the cover, and there's all these articles we'll look over. And we'll look at the events that are coming up in July.
Yes. There's lots.
And at the end of the show, Tiffany here, and I are going to address the events of the last week, which have been very entertaining.
Entertaining.
There's a complete canine. I knew, there he is.
Yes, yes.
I knew he had to be in there.
Yes.
So, you want to tell us about the upcoming events with Jimmy?
Yeah, well, we are getting married on the 27th of August.
You know, I think I need a couple of days, if I were the preacher in this, to practice his last name.
Oh, yes, Nicolopoulos.
And without, stepping, but everybody knows him as Jimmy Nico, right?
Yeah, well, and I'm going to abbreviate Nico, too.
You're going to, is that going to be your new last name, or are you going to stay with Griffin?
And no, I'm not going to stay with Griffin, but I haven't decided exactly how I'm going to do it, if I'm being really honest.
Well, Tiffany Nico sounds exotic.
Well,
it sounds like, mysterious.
Yeah. I kind of like that. And I think for all my published stuff, it will be Nico. But yeah, no, Griffin's going to go.
Okay, well, good. And you're very fortunate. I've met him a couple of times now, and we're going to see him later today. We go to our place.
Yes.
And he's a fine man. I guess I don't have to tell you that, huh?
Well, his business is booming. We're training all the Texas Rangers, not all of them, but a majority of their dogs.
When you talk about the baseball team?
Yes.
Oh, I thought, these...
Corey,
thinking maybe the old men with the Stetsons.
No, like Corey Seager's dogs at our house, and all the catchers' dogs were at our house just over over the weeks. And
how about that?
Yep. So he's really loving that.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Well, I'm sharing this with various groups in town and whatnot. Where's it? There's one more I'm looking for. Where is it? I'll find it. Anyway.
Okay.
So there it is. Okay. Now, anyway, we're going to be talking about this, what's coming up, and some of the ads here. I always like looking at the ads because this is such a well done magazine. Do you get awards for this? Or is there a competition?
No, because guess who does all the awards?
No telling.
Me. Local Life, the print magazine in the area, or the newspaper is the one that does all the awards.
Okay.
So there's really not one for us per se.
Well, it would be award winning if there was an award to win.
Thank you.
No, I was, when I first heard about this, it was Otto had told me about it. And then he showed me a copy. Oh, I've seen those. I didn't know when he mentioned it to me. I wasn't really quite clear what he was talking about. And then he pulled one out and said, "No, this is what I'm talking about, and here's my ad in it, and that kind of stuff." And
yes.
My goodness.
Yes.
No,
Local Life is, and that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about it's been in publication since 2009, and I want to talk about where we've come as a business and how far we've come and where we want to go.
Sure.
So.
Well, let's do the first round of ads, and then we'll be on there. There's a friend of yours, Kayla Jo Hoffman. Is it a friend of yours?
Yes.
Says, "Yay, Tiffany." All right.
Yes. Hey, Kayla.
Okay. Well, anyway, thank you, Daniel Cross at Burleson over at 317 Southwest Wilshire. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're enjoying your summer. I know he's been busy with the Eagle's Nest orphanage down in Guatemala. After about 2 years, the Eagle's Nest is now being able to accept, receive visiting groups. They have like churches like ours right now. First Baptist, I have a group of people down there to work for a couple of weeks, and they do stuff like construction or relate with the children and whatnot. And it's a great outfit. And Daniel is on their board, so it's jewels in your crown, Daniel. So thank you very much, Shandy. Hope you're doing well. Or Shandy Stocksville Realty. Shandy knows where the real estate is, and And that's going to be you're going to have somebody like her because
Yes.
it's very difficult to find a house on your own.
It is crazy right now.
Or and there's a lot of good realtors out there, but Shandy knows this town, and that's what you need to know because you have realtors that work in other places and they come in and all that. But Shandy knows Burleson and this area,
Right.
and that makes a big difference. And she can give you the background. She's been here most of her life, so there you are. So Shandy, hope you're doing well. So give her a call if you're looking to move here, guys. Also, Rex Russell. A lot of economic news today isn't that good. You need somebody like that to help navigate.
Exactly.
Maybe we ought to talk about if you've been hit by this 8.6 inflation rate that came out this morning.
For sure.
Okay, we'll talk about maybe some point of the show.
Okay.
Russell Wealth Group. Hit myfinancialbox.com. Talk to Rex. He's been doing it a long time. He's well known in this area. So give him a holler and have some coffee, get to know him. And then, of course, our 3 B&I friends, of course, Southern Jim, you're friends with Kayla.
Yes. She's the one that did my engagement ring.
Is that right? Well, it didn't surprise me. And my wife is working there right now. And so if you run over there and say hey to Miss Robin.
Okay.
Yeah. She'll be working there this summer. And then there'll be a time coming soon. She'll be leaving the school system and she'll be working there hopefully for, foreseeable future. So
Nice.
And I'll just sit around and, count the money. No, it's really funny because, everybody says, oh, your wife works in a jewelry store. That's dangerous. And that's been proven to be true because she comes home, oh, this is such a lovely ring. And, I just have a picture of this one and that one. And,
That's
it'd be
hard.
nice.
You can't, that's the whole thing about working in a retail place. Then you spend all your paycheck on your clothes or whatever it is you're buying.
Yeah, it's exactly right. But she's giddy sometimes about that. She's silly about it. Anyway, that's the way it goes. Also, thank you to Hotworks, Michelle Humphrey.
Hey, Michelle.
Oh, you know Michelle too. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, she's opened up that second one in Las Colinas, and that's taken her time a little bit. But I went over there a couple of weeks ago. Sponsor care, whatever you want to call it.
Did you see Jimmy? Jimmy works out there quite often.
I didn't go into the workout rooms because maybe it's a private thing. But I like what I like about it. Besides the variety of workout regimen, is it's a secure place. I mean, you have a lock and they'll let you in, and after hours you have to have the code, and so you don't have to worry about guys just straggling in off the street. So it's a good, secure environment to work out, and that's nice. Mm-hmm. And it's in a very good location over on the Commons. It was you who told me that name. I never could figure that one out.
Yes, it's the Burleson Commons area.
Well, now I know. And then also Creative Concepts by Mandy. She's a friend from B&I. She started with us about 2 weeks ago, and she does promotional items.
Nice.
Pins, hats, cups. I'm going to have some, so I'll give you you drink coffee?
No,
I
drink what?
No.
Celsius.
How about Jimmy? He drink coffee?
Yes.
Then I'll get you a Mr. Allard's neighborhood mug. It should have some in about a week.
Yeah,
and,
that's perfect.
yeah.
I like it.
Hats, mugs, all that stuff's coming. So
that's great.
yeah, she's a very sweet young lady. BHSX, that kind of thing.
Okay.
All right. What do you want to talk about first? Do you want to talk about the magazine or the events, or you want to talk about the background of this whole enterprise?
I want to talk about how local life started and how it's expanded into what it is today. Because I don't think that a lot of people know exactly. And honestly, until I did some digging, I didn't realize it either.
Yeah.
It was one of those little surprising type things. But so. It used to just be Local Life Magazine. Mm-hmm. Now we are Local Life Magazine and Marketing Group.
Right.
And so the magazine started in 2009, so we're on 13 years. And we used to just mail to Burleson, Crowley, and Joshua. Mm-hmm. Then we've tried Rendon. We tried a little bit different areas, but as inflation,
yes,
especially everything for me has gone up at least 15%. Mm-hmm. The only thing that I haven't been hit yet with is postage price, which the postage fees haven't gone up yet, but they're coming, I'm sure.
Well, yeah, they are actually. But for first class mail, it went up to 50 cents a stamp.
Yeah, well, so this is mailed third class,
right?
And so. I will tell you if it rains and they're supposed to be put out, they're going to be late because they don't like to deliver in the rain. They don't like to deliver third class mail.
Yeah,
I've learned that over the years. But
right.
but we used to just mail to homes, and then when I bought it in 2013, no, I'm sorry, 2011, we did the website, and that was the first time we were able to. I know now I can hear myself really well.
No, I'm just looking at Betty Arbor says, great job.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
And so then we started to do the digital version. So I looked into Google Analytics, and our digital version, where do you think the top city is that reads the digital version?
In this region, this area? I'm going to say Burleson, but that's probably not the answer.
It's not.
I was going to say maybe Joshua.
Dallas.
Dallas reads this over here.
Yes.
Oh, wow, that is interesting.
It's our top cities. It's Dallas, then Burleson, Fort Worth, Cleburne, Arlington, Houston, Crowley, Alvarado. I mean, it goes down into like King, all the surrounding areas here. But I was like, Dallas.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting, isn't it?
It is, and I'm wondering if people read it because they're looking for places to move, or it's also somebody that they know owns a business won the local love, and so they want to read about it, and so their friends share it with them. And so I thought that was very interesting. So it is a local magazine, but our reach is so much further than just Burleson.
Right.
That's just the digital version. That's just one part of it.
I think part of it maybe also is like we were talking about with Shandy earlier about the people are moving into this area and they want to maybe see what kind of services this place has to offer.
Exactly.
When this is a long time ago, but I never heard of Burleson 30 years ago until I got a job teaching at the junior high. And now people know of it, but I think it's not as high profile as, say, the mid-cities or whatever. And if they're moving down here, they want to know, well, where's the health care provided in this town? Where is the best restaurants? Where is, I guess where I can get my hair done?
Exactly.
That kind of stuff. And so I think that's where you're getting some of the hits.
Yeah, I think so too. And then, so when we first started the magazine, it was me. I'm going to go back a little bit. It was me and Marty. Marty laid out and did the design of the magazine, and I did everything else. And and then I had let's see, she was 4, a 4-year-old, and then a 6-year-old, and so and a husband that traveled all the time. So it was getting too much, and then I hired an office assistant, and she used to come to my house, and then that got awkward because I would be late, and she'd show up for work, and I'd be getting out of the shower.
Yeah, okay.
And so I decided I finally probably should get an office to make it a little bit more.
Well, and you have a very nice office. The Windmiller building is very nice.
Well, I was on John Jones forever. Inside the Nationwide Insurance building, I had like a little closet for an office.
Okay.
Yes, it was cheap, easy, and a place to meet. And then, okay, so I'm going to go back. So we got the website going. Then all of a sudden there's MySpace. And then there's Facebook. And then there's
MySpace. Wow, brings back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so social media has become something that I don't think any of us expected it to be,
Yeah, and I remember the first time I encountered Facebook, it was a former student of mine. I was visiting him at Baylor. He was Barbara Tatum's son, and I was driving through, so she asked me to stop by and say hey, and he showed me this Facebook, and really was just like, it was like a place to, see pictures of, potential friends or whatever, and girls and all that stuff, and well, certainly, so it's grown since then. Right. This is well before all this business now.
For sure. Well, there were no business pages at first. There were no any of that. It's obviously morphed into a huge thing that we probably don't even comprehend. But
it's true.
Right? But so social media, we reach Burleson, Fort Worth, Joshua, Crowley, Cleburne, Arlington, Mansfield, Godley, Rendon, Alvarado, Granbury, Keene, Benbrook. That's just our social media. And because we post your ad, we post the winners, we post the stories, and all of that, which they click on the link to read the magazine. they click on the link to find out, oh, Serendipity won Best Salon. I want to read more about that.
Yeah.
And so, again, it just shows that our reach is way further than just Burleson.
Well, do you get more, shall we say, mileage out of the social media than you do the hard copy? Because I see these a lot, around town.
You can't say the hard copy because there's no way to quantify that.
Yeah. Well, like I was at the mechanics here in town, Christian Brothers, getting my car inspected, and I was waiting for it to be done. There it was on the coffee table. And, and I've seen this in other places,
Yes.
Other offices and such, over at the hub,
Yeah, you pick it. We can, excuse me, we pick them up at City Market. They run out. They call me. They need more magazines because so many people pick them up.
Sure.
You can pick them up at our place. You can pick them up at Old South. So, and then they're laid out everywhere. In anybody that does business with us, they have copies. My oldest daughter is actually the one that delivers all the magazines.
That's nice. Keeps her busy.
Yes. You can pick one up in Sierra Bank,
Well,
where Kayla is.
Your friend Courtney Horn says she loves Local Life so much more than just a magazine.
That's right. We are more than just a magazine.
Well, it really is because, you look through the ads and all that, but you also have articles. You also have, the announcements of coming events. And we're going to talk about this big one here on the 4th of July coming up in a minute.
Yes.
Also, just city events and whatnot. But when you get on the cover of this is chosen by Burleson people, right? This wasn't,
that is part of the local loves.
Yeah.
So, and that's like what I came up at. I didn't want to do best of best. I didn't want to. I wanted something that went with local, and love is my favorite 4-letter word. So
corny.
So that's local. That's where local love morphed from. And then when the paper went out of business, that's how I picked it up. And if you look at all the magazines around, they do some type of best of or local love or whatever it might be, top 10, because that's how it gives us a reason to call a business. If somebody comes and votes for them, it gives us a reason to reach out to them where they maybe have not or would have never thought about Local Life before, but they are now. And so it's a good thing. And it's great to be able to be recognized for your good work, for your hard work.
There isn't really anything but Local Life on this level anyway. I mean, you may have a couple of publications here and there, but this is monthly. It's consistent. It's known. People say Local Life. Now, particularly in the last 2 or 3 years, everybody knows what it is.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Trying to say it better. I mean, they know what it is. It's a brand name now. I mean, I'm sure other communities have their similar stuff. Do y'all ever work together, other community type publications, or is it really so localized that?
You can. I mean, it's just like any other thing. Some people are easy to work with, some are not. I do like working with Society Life. That's where it was a sister magazine before I bought it, and they're in South Lake. And we do call each other and talk about publisher things. And if she has any ideas, which she's given me some good ideas, and I've given her some good ideas. So it's always nice to have somebody else that's in the industry.
And what's even better is Local Life is local. This is a local Burleson business. I mean, I know there are other magazines that are maybe supposedly centered around town, but they come out of they're published somewhere else.
Exactly. Right. No, Local Life is definitely, everybody that works for me lives in this area.
And the money is in the community.
Exactly.
Right.
Stays in the community.
And stays in the community. So everybody talks about buying local and everything else, and it's great. I do try to buy more local than I did a few years ago because...
You see how much it makes a difference.
Well, it does. And particularly when I was in the public school system, they're paying my taxes. Or my salary, I guess, way to put it.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
They're paying taxes to support me. I want to do the same for them. And so when you buy from these vendors, you're supporting, I mean, you got a couple of ads here for big companies, but most of these are local here.
Yeah, and there's really not that many big companies.
Well, y'all I'm just pulling a couple out here.
Oh, okay.
You got Dr. Lori Faust and Grant Faust. They're a dentist office and a Good Faith Dentistry, and then they're here in Burleson.
Yes, and they're the sweetest people. They are very, very sweet and very thorough.
Well, I wouldn't doubt that at all. And then here, like you have Lone Star Roofing. Here you have the Sunset Pool Company. You know, these are all Alpha and Omega Pest Control, on and on and on. And so I always like buying at smaller shops because I don't know, the service is better. It's
Yes. Because their customer service matters. Because if they don't give good customer service, you're not going to come back because you can buy from Amazon way easier.
Oh, somebody's calling. Oh, it's another spam call. Oh no, it's Joe Biden. Sorry, Mr. President, I'm busy right now. I'll call you later. he does this all the time.
Oh, okay.
So I get calls right in the middle of the show. Don't they know I'm busy?
You're right.
Anyway, let's talk about these the cover ladies here.
Okay.
Now, this was chosen by Burleson. This is Serendipity.
Yes.
Okay. Where are they at exactly?
They are right next to Grump's.
Oh, yeah.
In
that's
Old
right.
Town.
That's right.
Yes.
I knew that.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Okay. Serendipity. Okay. And they were chosen as, favorites. And I'm looking here at some of the young ladies that these various award winners.
Yes.
Yeah, and they were chosen. Do people think that you're picking and choosing friends or something like that?
I've had a couple of businesses accuse me of that, and I show them no. And these are chosen. Now, you can still win number one favorite of something, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to advertise.
Right.
Now, whatever on this beauty services on this page here, whatever this list is exactly what the votes came in as.
Okay.
So, but you don't have to make this list to have an ad to do one of these profile ads.
Well, it seems to me that'd be a pretty good idea.
Right. And honestly, if you're just starting out, it's a really good way to get your name out too.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a really good way to get your name
No,
out.
I have a small ad in here too, and I get people have called me up and said, "What's this about? What's your podcast about, or whatever else, or were you the Mr. Allard that taught at BHS and that kind of thing?" So I do get response.
Yes.
Maybe that was one that just called. Who knows?
Yeah, you never know.
But you look at the local beauty services here, and there's my friend Adrienne Argaminus.
Yes,
of
my
the
friend
Ritz.
too.
Yeah, and then you
She's
have.
doing great things for herself. I'm proud of her.
Oh, yeah, I see her stuff on Facebook, and she's like branching out into other activities besides just beauty care.
Yep. So. She's a smart girl.
And then you have Brittany Thompson here is the number one stylist.
Yep, and she's inside Serendipity. And then Sarah won.
Sarah Dickey here.
Yeah, and then Serendipity Salon won Best Salon. And then, do you know Jenny Brooks?
No, I do not.
She is another remarkable young entrepreneur that's doing amazing things with her brand. So I'm proud of her too.
This I've heard about this garage men's grooming over on 1571 Southwest Wilshire.
It's over there. Yeah, it's over there in the Commons.
Yeah, I've heard about that, because it's a male-oriented
Yes, it is.
hair salon kind of thing. I guess they have sports on the TV.
Yeah, and they're busy.
I bet they are.
Yeah, they're always booked. You can't just it's pretty hard just to walk in
No
there.
walk-ins. And there's one of my sponsors here, Wild Cigar.
Yes.
He's got something going on tonight, in fact, and so he's been advertising that.
Yes.
We talked briefly about the inflation part. Is it the paper or the ink, or what? The publishing itself? Is it paper? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, the paper's gone up 10%. Plus, it's very hard to get right now.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Yeah. I don't know if you noticed, but last month we had to print on a different paper.
No, I didn't notice. I don't think anybody would have noticed, except you would, I'm sure. But
Yeah.
But no, I didn't notice that at all.
Yeah, we had to print on a different paper because our paper wasn't available.
Well, it's that's the stress of owning your own business, isn't it? 'Cause
Yes,
it all comes back
is.
to you.
It is. It is.
Are you looking to expand further? Besides, you have like 30,000 people you mail to, right?
Yes.
Are you trying to expand from that, or is it just a cost prohibitive right now?
I'm not going to mail the magazine to any further because between the social media, the digital version, the newsletter that we send out to 5,566 locals, and then
just a round number, I guess.
Yeah, no, I looked it up.
Yeah.
And those are all, I'm not going to say they're all locals. Burleson was the number one, but Fort Worth and Dallas were the next two. And the reason they do that, the way I build my my email list, my newsletter list is from.
Oh, I would cut in here, but Terry Horn, is she a friend of yours?
Yes.
Crowley Chamber of Commerce is watching. That's a good thing.
Yes. Hi, Terry.
All right.
But no, what I was saying is when people come to my events, obviously you have to buy a ticket and we get your email, we capture your email. So then every time we get done with an event, we put all those emails into the newsletter. And that's how I've grown it to this number over the years.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I'd like to see it in the post office boxes, but we've already talked about that.
Yes.
But like I said, if I need a copy, which I usually go online.
Yes.
But I've also picked up a copy at City Market, or Bransom's, as old timers still call it.
Yes.
And so I still pick. That's where I pick one up.
Right.
If I want a hard copy.
Right.
And but I just think that's great, because I look at the I don't know, it seems like these big stores and these big outfits kind of dominate everything, and the Walmartization, if you will, because it's hurt some of the small towns, but you keep small town business active and alive, and make people aware of that. And I think it's a real service to the community.
Yeah, and I want it to be. I want it to be if there's nobody's going to pick it up and look at it, then I'm not doing my job.
Well, it's more than just that. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I know you do this for a living and you make money, and et cetera, and that's great. But this is also a kind of a calling for you, isn't it?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, because
I really enjoy it.
You enjoy it, but you also enjoy the fact that these young ladies are getting a little bit of publicity today,
yes,
and good for them, right?
Good for them.
Yeah,
good for them.
I don't know.
Because who doesn't like to win something?
Well, and I don't know if they're listening to the show or not at any point, but they're getting a lot of attention,
yes.
and it's a good thing, and it focuses more on our own community as opposed to just being isolated,
Right.
And it's a good thing. After this next round, let's talk about some of the events that are coming up. So, our next round. Of course, we all know this particular sponsor, Our Place, was there yesterday morning. We're going to be having lunch with Jimmy in a few minutes after this.
Yes.
And he's a genuinely good friend and patron of this community, and to me, and to this show. So it's been a real good experience having him on board as a sponsor, because he's gotten to know him on a much more personal level, and he does all these,
Yes, Otto is a great guy.
And do all these, community-oriented things that he doesn't really publicize on his own. So it's a good thing. And so Our Place, where it's at. It's on the highway in Ellsbury. Been there since '86. Also, of course, I mentioned earlier, Wild Cigar. They're having a tiki party tonight. I had to figure out what that is. It's some Polynesian-themed party at Wild.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was in there. I did a Facebook Live yesterday or the day before.
He has a studio, doesn't he?
Yes.
Right, I know.
Yep. It was, it's fun. I'm looking forward to doing a few other events with him as well.
Well, that's a good thing. And he's very business oriented, like
Yes.
community oriented too.
Yes.
I've had him on 2 or 3 times, but it's a nice place. And does Jimmy smoke cigars?
Yes, I'm pretty sure he would.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's a good place. They have this really big humidor, and they have tobacconists there, so it's not like you can wander around and not know what the difference is. They got people that are trained to understand the difference in different types of cigars, and they can find one that kind of fits what you're looking for.
Right.
And it's a good thing. Also, Antonio over at Proactive Payment Solutions, he'll help you with the point of sales operations. He'll help you with, the transactions online, things of that nature, makes it more streamlined, invoicing, the whole thing. He'll help you with the best rates, the best programs. Apparently, I did not know this until I met with him and talked about his business. There's dozens and dozens of different programs out there, and he can help you find the one you want instead of just picking out of the hat, basically.
Yes.
And one that fits your type of business. Oh, yeah, and you probably get offers quite a bit.
I do.
Yeah, but there you are. Also, then here we are with Local Life again. So let's jump into the events coming up. There's a big one July 4th, is there not?
Yes, there's a big one July 4th. It is at the Standard, where Southern Gem is, and Wild. And Wild is actually going to provide the beer and wine for the event.
When you say provide, bring your wallet, though, right?
Yeah, exactly. Bring your wallet is right.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good community service, but let's not get crazy here.
Right. But so the event is, where the standard is, we're in a perfect spot.
Yes, you are.
For the fireworks. Like, I feel like our spot is better than over at Chisenhall because it's kind of right across the creek there, and it is like perfect view.
And you won't have beer and wine at Chisenhall.
You won't. This is true.
Yeah. So.
And so what we have going on is we have regular, just general admission tickets, and we have VIP tickets.
Yeah. And see, Brock DeWall will be playing.
Yes.
Yeah, he debuted his album on this show about mid-April, I believe. And, you know, I know he's good, but, you know, to hear him in a studio format, it's like, my goodness.
He's really good.
Really good, you know?
I've known Bronca Jordan for a long time.
Well, Jordan does these articles for you, does
yes, she does.
Yeah.
She does.
Yeah.
So we all used to go to church together many moons ago.
Yeah.
And so that's how we met. But so it kicks off. There's a kick zone. We're going to have a petting zoo, a face painter, a balloon artist. We're working on one of those bubble foam things. We haven't quite got that nailed down yet, but that's one of the things we're working on. And then we're going to have all different kinds of food trucks. I know Old South's food truck is going to be there. Bucci's Barbecue, which is always good. They sell out every year. And then we're going to have some ice cream, snow cones, all that kind of stuff. And then we're going to have live music, Brock DeWald, and then Neon Prophets. Neon Prophets is a 90s country band, and they get dressed up in all the garb, like with the mullet and the cutoff jeans.
The Billy Ray Cyrus look.
Yes, it is so great. And they're going to be singing all the great, like, America songs from back in the day. So they'll go all the way till the fireworks and then sing a couple after that.
Okay, and I was looking for the other community events page. Is it near the beginning or the end?
It's towards...
Okay, because there's another page. Oh, here it is, the June calendar.
Yes.
That's what I was looking for.
Okay.
Of course, there's the farmers market.
Yes.
It's such a great thing.
It is great.
You know, I had a little get together with my BNI group last Saturday, and somebody came in and I said, "Hey, how you doing? What have you been doing today?" "Well, I went to the Mansfield Farmers Market, and they had over 20 vendors there." I'm like, 20? We got 80 over here in Burleson, and got a waiting list to get in on that.
Yes.
And so, you know, it's a lot bigger deal. It's a real service to the community, and anybody that wants to be part of this community, this is a good place to do it.
Right, it is.
And then you got the Hot Sounds of Summer. Of course, they had the Bon Jovi tribute got rained out. But tonight they have a Texas Flood with Stevie Ray Vaughan tribute.
Yes.
And Zach Wilkerson, who's well known around here. Andrew Dolan's very well known around here, coming up in about 2 weeks.
Yes, which I hope I can go to.
Yeah, Petty Theft. I've heard this Tom Petty tribute band. They play a lot in Dallas, so this is not some minor group.
Right. No, they do. They have really good ones. And then I love Gypsy Trunk. If you are a thrifter, they have some fun stuff. And so they have like where they have a little outdoor vendor market and stuff, and you can go in there and they have like a little vintage vibe thing going on, and they have all kinds of things in there.
And it's tomorrow they're having this.
Yes.
On June 11th.
No, June 11th. Is that tomorrow?
It's tomorrow.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, it's coming up quick.
Yes, it is.
Well, and here's Pathway. Today and tomorrow they're having Hope Encounter 2022, Bold and Courageous.
Yes.
It's about a women's event, is it not?
It is.
Okay.
It is a women's event.
Yeah, Pathway is, you know.
Which I wish I could do, but I can't.
You got things going on.
Yeah, my daughter has a recital.
Oh, the dance recital. Okay.
Yes,
Well, that's very
yes.
good. And a June craft fair tomorrow at the Burleson Senior. Boy, tomorrow's a busy day, isn't it?
There's a lot of stuff on June 11th.
Yeah, you can go to the craft fair. You can go to the farmers market. You can go to this junk in the trunk. I mean, you make a whole day out of this.
You could right here locally.
Yes, and there's on the City Parks and News, there's a picture of several people with shovels, including our mayor right in the middle. He looks kind of natural with a shovel. You know, he doesn't, you know, he's an old country boy. He probably has shoveled plenty in his day.
I bet he has.
And there's Victoria, and I don't recognize these others. I guess
they're probably,
you know, people putting in the park.
Right.
Okay, well, that's good. And, I see you have something at the very end here on Uvalde that we...
Yes.
That's a tough one. That's a tough story, isn't it?
It is heartbreaking.
Yes. Yesterday, I had Seth Reeves on, who's a teacher at Centennial. I bet your daughter will have her. Have him, rather. Get it right, Dunny. No, Seth is an excellent teacher. You should hope that your daughter has him as a teacher. She's going to be a junior, right?
Yes.
He teaches juniors and seniors, so there's a good chance of it. Anyway, we talked about gun control. And he and I agreed and disagreed and all this, but it was a very enlightening conversation. Seth is a very articulate, well-spoken, well-prepared young man, so he was very challenging as a sparring partner, to say the least.
Yes.
And, a couple of times he had me on the ropes, and so, I'm not just plugging yesterday's show, but that's the kind of thing I like to do as well, is try to bring in people that may not share my opinion on everything, and we can have nice, civil debates about them.
Right.
It's more interesting, I think, to the viewer, and certainly I find it interesting. But anyway, back to you.
Okay.
There's a big full ad here for animal protection here.
Yes. And then I want to say one other thing. We have it's on, I don't know where it is. It's Vote for Your Local Hometown Hero. And you just go to this little QR code and you can put in somebody that you feel is a hometown hero.
Well, just remember when you're putting in the hometown hero, there's 2 L's in Allard, just to make sure you spelled that correctly. Yeah, there it is.
Yes. And so if they go above and beyond in a volunteer position, do they do through a charity organization, military, police, firefighter, somebody that goes above and beyond?
Can you nominate more than one person?
You can just nominate, yeah.
Because if I'm just sitting here and 10 seconds you mentioned, I could think of 15 people.
We need some nominations.
Well, then I'm going to do this afternoon. I'll do this.
Yeah, please do. And anybody listening that really thinks that somebody should be nominated, please do, because we're going to publish them in the magazine in the July issue.
Seriously, this town has a lot of people that go above and beyond, and it's a blessing. But now you want to segue into the more?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's talk about the events of the last week.
Okay.
I'm going to let you do most of the talking, just because you're certainly capable of that.
Okay. So I've really wrestled with what I want to say and what needs to be said, what doesn't need to be said, all the things, right? I want to start off with, I kind of talked about how local life has grown into what it is today from where we started. And it's been me, it's me that has done this. It's nobody else. I have me and I have Courtney, who's my office manager, that she commented because it's more than just a magazine. And then I have some other contract employees as well who are like employees, but they're not. They're still contract. And
they're friends.
And they're friends. That's exactly right. They are my friends. And so I have great working relationships with my people. And so when you build something from what I have built and started off with, it's countless late night hours. These events take many hours. The day of the event and the working up and setting up the event, countless hours. The 4th of July one is in the heat. You're hot. By the end of the night, I'm almost in tears. I'm tired, and you just hope that you make ends meet, especially on these first timer ones. Because when you come up with an event from scratch, you don't know what mistakes you're going to make, and you don't even know what you're going to need until after the first one, and then you can make a change and make it better. And so it's a lot of work. And I'm always say, and other business owners can relate to this. And then why am I the one that ends up cleaning up all the trash and the toilet and everything else? It's just, that's part of being a small business owner. You can be over here at this really nice reception, and then all of a sudden you got to go back and fix the toilet. And Levi Memmer from ITS just posted about that, and it's so true. We work hard to make our clients and employees, everything happy, and it's exhausting. It can be exhausting, but my business is me, and it's my brand. It's what I eat, breathe, live day in, day out. It's what feeds my family, but most importantly, it's my brand of who I am. And so That's that. So whenever somebody wants to feel like you're throwing darts at it or have an opinion about it, you can't help but take it personal because you've worked so hard to do the right thing. And I really do try to follow the rules. And as an entrepreneur spirit, we're not good at following rules.
Well, how much do you want to talk about what happened at the chamber meeting last Thursday?
I don't know how much I want to talk about it. I mean, we both have things I think we would want to say, but I'm just going to say the experience wasn't pleasant.
Do you want
I
to
was
describe? Well, so
I was caught off guard.
Well, not everybody knows what we're talking about.
Okay, so you say what we're talking about.
You were basically being brought before the council to talk about these events and use of hotel and motel money.
Yes.
And you got a unpleasant experience out of it.
Right.
Kind of more of an aggressive experience than you thought you'd get.
Yeah, in front of the council members.
All right, so I'll let you take it from there.
Okay, and so yes, I had to go up and I asked for a grant. And the grant is...
Oh, by the way, it wasn't the chamber. It was the council.
Yes, it's
I
council.
misspoke. It's not the city. It's the city council, not the chamber.
Yes, it's okay.
All right.
And so what we do is we fill out a grant application. And we ask for a certain amount of money. We get guidance from the guys that work at the city on what they think, that kind of thing. We fill out the paperwork, and then it goes to council for them to approve. And so... this was my second year to do anything like this. And what the grant is used for is it's not a loan. So they don't give me the money beforehand. I have to turn in my receipts for what I spend on marketing because we are trying to bring people from outside the Burleson area, tourism, into the Burleson area to join our events. And so that's what the money is used for. And so I just want to make sure it's not, if the event doesn't happen, you don't get the money. Now, if there is something that maybe they don't think is marketing, then you obviously wouldn't get reimbursed for those receipts. And so that's kind of how it works. Now, I was called up and asked questions, and I knew a couple of them. The others I didn't know and I wasn't prepared for, and I kind of felt like I was a sitting duck. And I'm not gonna. I don't want to dwell on it, but I hope I hope that there can be some change moving forward. Because I was just doing what I was told to do. And if there was going to be a problem, a little bit more explanation would have helped for me to be prepared. And I understand that if I'm going to ask for a grant, that I might have some questions that need to be asked. And that's totally okay, as long as I'm prepared for all of the questions, just not one or two. And so I think that's where the drama happened, I guess is what you want to say.
But it was also the demeanor of the questions, not the content. No one's
for sure
questioning the idea that you need to account for what you're doing in a public forum, but it was also the aggressive and attitude that took you off guard.
Yes, for sure. And it wasn't. I just wasn't prepared, and I felt like a sitting duck. Now, again, I hope moving forward that maybe things will change a little bit. Because I never want to. We left there, and everybody said, "Oh my gosh, I would have started crying. Thank you for taking that. I don't know what I would have done if I had to get up there." And
this happened to Brooke Mathis too, didn't it not?
It did, and I had people reach out to me that don't know anything about Burleson, don't know anything about Burleson politics, nothing like that. And they asked, why does she not like you? And I was like, that's not the case. And I said, I don't think that's the case. But people that are not involved in this community saw that it was a problem as well. And so I'm just hoping that it will change moving forward. That's my hope.
You hope?
Yes. Yes.
So we talked about beforehand our responses because we both had
Yes.
some shots taken.
For sure.
And I admire the fact that you want to just move past all this.
Yes.
And I'm gratified to know that people reached out to you, supported you.
Oh my gosh. And that's one thing. I'm glad you said that because the overwhelming support that I got from that, the people that called me, texted me, wanted to know what more about what all of that meant. My phone didn't stop ringing from Thursday all the way to Sunday, and really a little bit on Monday, of people just reaching out and checking on me and saying how much they appreciate local life and how much how I do a good job for the community, and it was very humbling.
Well, and I'm glad they did that because sometimes you do these things and you wonder if people notice or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I think that this Local Life magazine is more than just ads. It is one of the very central aspects of this community. Mm-hmm. And
well, I've worked hard to make it that way.
Yes,
and it's very personal to me.
Sure. And it'd be Burleson would be much the lesser if we didn't have Local Life or the events he put on,
right?
And things of that nature. And I guess that's one reason so many people took such umbrage, if you will, about it.
Yes.
So, anything last words? I'm going to have a few comments, but I'll let you finish what you want to say.
I want to say is the ugliness that has been surrounded by this community needs to stop. And because when I first started, so I actually started with Terry Horn, who's watching in Crowley, because I was scared to go to a networking meeting because I had never done that before. And Crowley was so welcoming. They helped me. They helped me and get me comfortable enough to where I could go into Burleson and feel comfortable with what I'm doing. And for the most part, I'm still comfortable, but the looks that I get, sometimes I'm not sure why, and I don't think they're necessary. And I know it's not just at me, but just in general, because just because I believe in something doesn't mean that I'm a mean person. And I think that goes for anything or whatever. I just feel like this town is very separated and we need to do better to have unity. And that means stop attacking each other. Nobody is ever going to want to run for anything because of the backlash that you get. It's terrible.
That's true. I've talked to a couple of people about, getting involved in school board or city council or whatever, and they said, I'm not going to put my family through what I saw happened to other candidates.
Right.
And they're not going to want to be subjected to gossip, innuendo, or catty comments.
Exactly. And it's not even you. That goes to your whole family,
right.
Your friends and everything. Good golly. And if we don't make a change, we're going to lose really good people in this community.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the biggest part of it is we cannot lose the people, the hardworking people that love Burleson.
And I think the mayor is doing his dead level best to try to make that happen, but he's being hamstrung by some that just will not want to play nice.
That's right.
We had him on Tuesday, and I've come to know him pretty well now, and I know his heart is there to do what's best.
And I love Chris Fletcher. He's honestly, I feel more like he's been a client of mine through Texas Overhead Doors for years.
Right.
And so I've known him way before any of this stuff, and I've always respected him as a businessman. And I would call him a friend.
I've come to call him a friend as well.
Yes.
I didn't know him till this electoral process, but he's going to be on the show monthly. His next show is second week of Thursday, second Tuesday or Thursday.
Right.
Of July.
Right.
Say it right. Anyway, it's going to be in about 5 weeks. Go ahead. I'm letting you finish.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I don't want to keep interrupting you.
No. And so I think if you're going to be on city council, you have to have thick skin. We all know this. And it's not for everybody. It's definitely not for me. I don't have the thickest skin. And so, but my biggest thing is there's got to be some unity, because going in this direction that we're going in is not going to make anything any better. It's just going to get worse for our town.
You know, and it's not 50-50 divide either.
No, it's not.
It's a small minority.
It is.
Very small minority, but
they're loud.
Yes, they're very loud, and they dominate social media.
It's because they want to be.
Yeah.
So do you want to be part of the drama, or do you not?
No, I don't.
Okay. And that's kind of where I'm at. I'm taking the higher road.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to go any further into the drama. And in the end, I got the grant that I applied for.
Mm-hmm.
And so overall, I'm happy about that.
Do you feel like there'll be any repercussions later?
I really hope not. I really hope that ugliness will not come after me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I really hope not.
Yes. Well, okay. Now I guess it's my turn.
Okay.
You know, I had the mayor on Tuesday, and I asked him about this meeting. And he defended Ms. Payne as, I think it's appropriate. I mean, he can't just drop her into grease like that. But I think it was appropriate. And I had a couple of people say he should have done this, and I said, no, he shouldn't have. He's the mayor of the town, and,
Right.
and he did what he needed to do. But he also said he didn't care for the demeanor.
Right.
I said very much the same thing. I said I didn't care for the aggressiveness. It's not the fact that you're asking questions, even though I found out, you know, pretty quickly that you got ambushed, and that's the only way to put it. You know, I criticized Ms. Payne's demeanor and her aggressive attitude, and she gets on Joko on Wednesday and bursts into tears about how mean I was to her, or how unfair I was. And I'm thinking, I would, you know, and she characterized my criticism as personal. Mm-hmm. That's not personal. You know, when you're an elected official and you're getting criticized for a public performance or public duties, that's not personal, and it's appropriate. It's appropriate to call out publicly elected officials when you feel like they've crossed a line. Mm-hmm. But she goes on there and tries to make this a personal vendetta, and that I was, you know, mean to her, and the idea of her bursting into tears is on her, not me, because I did not mean it personally. I'm not going to dwell on the personal. Mm-hmm. I don't know her personally. I don't want to know anything personally about her. It's not my business. But, you know, I was like you. I mean, when it first happened, I want to, you know, get on the show and say, hey, you know.
It takes a minute to digress.
Yeah. It took me about 2 days, and I had, when I was trying to formulate in my head what I was going to say, I got some very wise counsel from a young woman whom we all know,
yes.
that is wise beyond her years, to say the least. And she reminded me what this show is about and what I'm about. This show is not about drama and controversy. People don't tune into this show to get drama and controversy. They tune in to hear you or the mayor. Or was that your watch?
Yes.
All right. Well, it doesn't matter.
Sorry.
They tune in to hear you or the mayor or Next Step Women's Center or the Center for ASD, or they may, and if I don't have those on, they hear me rant about local politics or national politics.
National politics.
Mostly, I don't get into local politics like when it's just me. It's almost always
right.
What nefarious thing Joe Biden's up to and that kind of thing.
Right.
But, you know, they tune in for that. They don't tune in for drama or gossip or snark. They don't tune in to further the drama and controversy. And so that's, I'll just leave it at that. This show is about the community, and it's not about venting one's spleen towards anybody in the community.
No.
And
I love this show, and I've been coming on. I don't know how long I've been coming on.
About 9 months. I think your first show was in the fall.
Okay, yeah. And it's a great way for me to give my thoughts, say what's going on in the community, what's going on with local life, all of those things.
I appreciate that, and that's kind of what it was meant for. And so I'm not gonna get into the drama and controversy, because they seem to thrive on it, and they're better at it than I am, and they're going to have the last word today. And that's fine. They get the last word because I know who I am and I know what this show is about. And their opinion of me, I don't care what Miss Payne thinks of me or the folks at Joco or for that matter, Jimmy Stanford. I don't care one iota
Right.
what they think about
Right.
me because I know me.
Right.
And I like to say, that's good enough. And I know what this show's about. And this show is not going to be drugged down into controversy and sniping and
It's just not worth
drama. It's not me. It's not worth it. It's my sponsors don't deserve that. I really do consider how you and the other sponsors are going to be reflected upon when I say, even if I'm not talking about this, so if I'm talking about Joe Biden, I want to make sure that y'all are reflected well that, and how I handle those kind of comments. And so I'm blessed with the sponsors I have, and I'm not going to subject them to junior high drama.
It is. It is.
And the people that want to continue that in their lives, leave me out.
Right.
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 And,
No, I agree.
And I hope that Ms. Payne understands that whatever her heart is or intentions are, it's not reflected in how she treats people.
And I would agree with that. And I know, I do believe, and I tell this to people, and they don't, but I do believe that she is trying to do her best. And Tamara and I have known each other for many years. I do call her a friend. I was very caught off guard. And I would have hoped that she would have called me and said, and asked me the questions or told me what it was. So I could be more prepared. But I'm not going to come on here and say anything negative about her because guess what? She is a friend and she is a neighbor.
Well, I'm not going to say anything negative about her personally because I don't know her personally. But I am going to say her conduct in that meeting was not appropriate. And if she wants to take that as a personal attack, it's not meant for him, but she can take it any way she wants. And she has, she asked to come on the show.
Yes.
That's not happening.
Right.
Because I'm not furthering the drama.
No, there's no reason to.
No.
I agree.
Yeah, she's not coming on the show.
The drama needs to stop.
Well,
it needs to stop here today. And then the council can go on and do what they need to do with the hot pot money and make the change and make sure that the people that are applying know what those changes are so we can do a better job if we need to. So
I just hope in the future this is a learning experience, to say the least.
yes.
And the other council members need to know that they need to make sure that people that come before the council are going to be appropriately treated, and people that do business with the city are going to be fairly treated.
Exactly.
And so, I'm not making any insinuations that they're not, but that is something that they need to make sure happens.
And because they're not the ones that have to deal with so much of the unfairness. The people behind the scenes are having to deal with the unfairness. And that's why I'm saying we can't be running off the great people that we have here in this community.
Or the great people that work for this community.
Exactly.
We have some really, really outstanding people that work for the city, and they don't need to be in the middle of all this.
Exactly.
And being pressured about, where they stand in all this. So, I hope I was eloquent enough in what I mean to say. Like, this show is going to continue to be about Burleson. That's why we call it the neighborhood. It's not going to get into the weeds, and I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
So
right.
I appreciate you coming on the show.
Okay. I have, whenever do you have anything else before I can give my final thoughts?
I was just going to run through the ad real quick. But
Okay, go for it. I couldn't remember. I was like, is there more ads?
No. I always let the guests have the last word because it's
okay.
just appropriate to be a congenial host.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway, thank you, Daniel, across at Burleson. We appreciate what you do for the community, and not just for the gym at the 317 Southwest Wilshire, but just other aspects of your community service. Thank you, Shandy. Same as well. Our 817 page. She does a lot of stuff for that, and also, like I said, if you want to know the what's going on in the Burleson real estate market, you need to talk to Shandy. Thank you, Rex. I have him on about once a quarter, and we talk about business-related things, and he knows his stuff, and so he's a good man to talk to about what's going on in this economy. So hit myfinancialbox.com and get to know him. Also, Kayla, she's in Vegas right now. a jewelry store.
Nice.
Yeah, or not jewelry store, jewelry convention. I mean, can you imagine going to Vegas for a jewelry convention?
Oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, well, I'm sure Gayla's, making a couple of detours to the casino. Well, I don't know if she will or not, but still, it's a nice vacation, I guess.
For sure.
All right, but thank you, Gayla at Southern Gym. Thank you to Michelle over at Hotworks. Hope you're doing well, and hope that new branch is doing well too. But the one here is doing great. Yeah, I talked to her when I talked to her last. She said her business is really doing well.
That's great.
I like to say it's
I'm
because she
proud of her,
advertised.
too.
Yeah, but y'all have a lot in common.
We do.
Because you entrepreneurs, women that have a lot of energy, and strong opinions, and
both divorced.
I guess that too, I suppose. But I mean, just she really understands how to put a business together, I guess is a better way to put it.
Yeah, she's great.
And then we have Mandy over at, here's another female entrepreneur at Creative Concepts, with the hats, the coffee mugs, all the promotional items you want, the shirts. Taylor used her and was very well pleased. I'm using her, and I'm going to be pleased, I know, when I see the results, because she does really good work. She's part of that B&I group, and she's brought stuff to us before, and it's like, I want a piece of that. Mm-hmm. All right, so thank you to Otto. We'll see you in a little bit. I hope you're doing well over at our place. Every time I go there, every time I go there for breakfast with my Sunday school buddies every other week, there's always cops in there. What does that tell you? It tells me two things. One is the food is good.
Yes.
And that they're welcome there.
They're welcome there.
Yeah, and it's a good place to go. And here's something that this may sound odd, but it's a very diverse crowd that eats there.
It is very diverse.
It's not just one type of diner. I mean, you go there and you'll see everybody of every ethnicity, race you want to talk about. And I think that's a major credit to Otto for the kind of environment he's created over there.
For sure.
So it's a good place.
I agree.
Also, same with Chris. All right. Chris is of the same mindset. He wants to create a community at Wild Cigar, and a very diverse community, a welcoming community.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited to see it's very interesting. I'm excited to see where they're going to go. So
I don't know if he'll have more than one branch right now, but I wouldn't be surprised if he does something else along those lines.
I was in there on a random Wednesday afternoon, and there was quite a few people in there all over the place.
Well, it's a good place to do business, because you can hear yourself think.
Yes, and smoke a cigar at the same time.
And have a decent drink, and and talk over business and whatnot.
Yes.
And it's not like real loud or anything. It's a good place.
Right. And I want to say that, ladies, if your husband wants to smoke a cigar, there is a patio.
Yes. And, it's well ventilated.
It is.
I mean, you have the aroma of cigars, but you don't have this cloud of smoke.
For sure.
Also, thank you to Antonio, Proactive Payment Solutions. Hope you're doing well. If you're looking for more online experience in dealing with your clients and your sales and receipts and all this other business, talk to him. He'll take care of that for you at proactivepaymentsolutions.com. So talk to Antonio. He knows what he's talking about. He had to explain to me what he was talking about. I'm so bad at technology. And, of course, Local Life, which I appreciate you being here.
Yes, of course.
And so as the guest, you get the last word. So.
Okay. So I thought about this and actually read a post on Facebook last night. And so I'm stealing a little bit of what this lady wrote about. But if you know me, I've been through some major grief. I've been through some divorce. I've been through some pretty rough things in my life. But through all of that, I'm all around a pretty happy human. And the reason I can be happy is because I surround myself with people that really support me and that I trust, and that will call me out if I'm doing something bad. And I take what they say seriously, and I change it. And that's the reason, they're part of the reason why I'm coming on here today, and I'm not gonna say anything else, because unhappy people are the ones that tear others down, pick fights, and create drama. And I don't want to be around those type of people, because let me tell you, my ex-husband gives me enough drama. I don't need any more. But I want to fire back. I want to be in the ring, but I'm just not going to. And I'm going to choose the higher road, and I'm going to choose grace, because guess what? Everybody needs a little grace all the time. And
Amen to that.
Yes, I'm going to protect my peace. And being mad at somebody is not peaceful. And I don't want to be in not a peaceful place. And so here's to stopping the drama, the chatter that's been going on. And so we should all love our neighbors. And as the Bible says, we shall love thy neighbor.
And on that line, this is the last time I'm addressing it, regardless of what response happens later on social media. I'm not bringing this up again. But I'm also not going to not say what I think if something happens like this again.
Right.
But
Right.
There you go.
There we go.
I'm glad we did this.
I am too.
And I hope y'all share this with your friends out there, my vast listening audience. I think a lot of people need to hear this in our community. Some people are not going to be moved by it, but that's their problem. But I just hope y'all we appreciate you people that dropped in on the show.
Yes.
Very much so, with the kind words, your friends of Tiffany's and mine. And I appreciate your support in all this endeavor. And so share it with your friends. It's on YouTube right now. So and I'm getting a lot of views on YouTube. So that's where most people see this.
That's great.
And that's all. I'll see you on Monday. I don't know what I'm talking about yet. I'll figure that out then.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.